Guys, compared to last week, she's a dirty girl. Dirty girl, but we still
morning, guys. Welcome to another video with Crappy Production and sponsored by nobody, honestly. It's your old buddy Jerry. And today, I'm going to kind of go over something that I've had a couple requests for, and that is Cmax. And, I mean, hell, there ain't a whole lot to tell. I mean, you really need to know what you're doing when you build Cmax. Like I said, the internet lies. I mean, Facebook groups lie. You definitely don't want to do wood compression. I mean, I know guys argue, but every bank that I really see that's all ballooned out and looking like crap had wood compression. So, yeah, let's kind of get into
Cmax. It's a 135. Right now, we sitting at 15.86. 3.9 on each, 3.96 on each bank. Like bank 1, bank 2, bank 3, and bank 4. So Cmax is a Ford hybrid cell in the Ford Cmax car. I think some of the early Fusions, and I'm not 100% what they actually come out of, but one cell was from here to here and from like here up. So that's a shit ton of cells in each bank. You're definitely going to want a monitor on there to monitor each cell bank. Because normally if you have a bad cell in one bank, your number is going to be off quite a bit up there. So as long as they stay pretty good, your battery health is all right. Now we can get into the do's, don'ts, and all that. If you can find the cells, I'm pretty sure like the EH5 is pretty much the same thing as Cmax. I've heard they're actually a little better. Do it, yes, build one. Have one built. You know, I've been in car audio a long time, so I kind of did my research and built my first battery with the LTO pouches. It did really good. You know, there was some design flaw in what I had built because them things have little tabs that you got to put together, and they were a pain in the butt to work with, and I upgraded to Cmax. Me and my buddy Billy at Staple Road Customs, we built this one because he had built his Proto and a couple other banks. So it was a no-brainer to take everything to him, and me and him slapped it together in like an hour. But, you know, you got to order good bars, a balancer. I like running a monitor on my battery. Now, some of the don'ts. Don't use cells that are like puffing or ballooning, you know, where they're swelling up. Don't use wood compression. Don't charge under 14.8. It pretty much, Cmax is dead. Like when this bad boy gets to 14.8, it's pretty much dead. I think you can charge these to like 16.5 safely. I know, I think the number is higher than that, but you don't really want to go over 16.5. Normally, most amplifiers will produce more power at the 16 volt range. I noticed with when I had tar amps in my wife's car, at that stock like 14.4, setting the gain on the amp, it would start clipping at about 85 volts output AC. When I did a Cmax in her little car and got her up above that 15.8 mark, that same amp, I went back and reset the gain on it, and I was getting about 106 volt out of it. That's a big jump in power. And you also got to remember, guys, if you're at like 15.5 and you're getting more out of an amp setting the gain, and you're demoing and you drop down to like 14.5, you're going to be clipping where you was clean at a higher voltage. Just remember that, because they don't teach you that in school. Most Facebook groups don't cover that. A lot of people overlook it. You know, it's something that I've discussed with Mark Kennedy. He's an amplifier repair technician. He knows his crap, and, you know, he agreed. That's something a lot of people overlook. That's why it's good if you do have amplifiers that have built-in clip light with a remote clip light or bass knob with a clip light still mounted up front, because when your voltage drops, your clipping comes in earlier. But back to the Cmax. We built our own compression. We bought angle from a steel shop, the threaded rod, and something my buddy Zach, he bought a bank that somebody had built, and they were a noob and didn't think about it, but they had that threaded rod right up against the cells in there on both ends, and he lost a bunch of cells because the threaded rod rubbed them. And his was on EH5. So if you notice on both sides, got a really big gap. I mean, I can get my whole hand in there. We'll do the other side too, you know, show you. Look at that. Look at that gap. We got plenty of room between the threaded rod and the cells. So that's something that you really want to keep in mind. These banks are heavy, so I got like 8 lag bolts bolting it to the back of my wall. I know they say don't mount your amps or anything to the back of your enclosure. And this thing, the enclosure, is the strongest part of the vehicle. I don't really get no vibration at all back here. It's really thick. It's really braced, so. And I don't have no other options to mount amplifiers but to the enclosure. Quality bars. Get quality bars when you build a bank. I can't stress that enough. I prefer using these with the crimp-on lug that just bolts down to the bar. I hate the ones that have the wire inputs like an amplifier, where you stick the stripped wire in and bolt it down with a damn set screw. I just don't like that design. So definitely get bars that take the lugs. I know it's a little more expensive buying the lugs and a little more of a pain crimping them on, but at the long run, you're going to be happier at the end of the day. You ain't got to worry about them coming loose or anything. Because I actually have to go back and check my amplifiers like monthly to make sure everything's still tight. I mean, really, there's not a lot to cover on a Cmax. I say you do have 4 cells in a series. Each cell is like 3.7 volt. They're 5.5 amp hour. I've seen a lot of people running the 24 amp hour Cmax cells, and they seem like they're doing really good. So I don't know which would be better. I would imagine the smaller 5.5 amp hour would probably be a little stronger, but I honestly don't know. I mean, I've never ran the 24, so it is what it is. You know, I can't really give a honest, justified opinion on it. I can just tell you what I know, and you definitely want to run a balancer. You definitely want to have a monitor on there just for that peace of mind that you can say, yeah, I checked my voltage on each cell bank and they're all within spec, you know. The bigger bank you build, like I have a 135, if I just had one alternator, it would take a while to charge it up when I'm driving. 2 alternators, it charges really quick when I'm demoing and keeps my voltage good. And I'll be honest, you know, like when I'm just cruising back and forth to work, driving around town, not demoing, I usually only have one of my alternators turned on. So I'm not really stressing it like I would when I'm demoing. When I'm demoing, I have to have both on because it's just like songs back to back to back turned up. But keep in mind, if you want to build a Cmax, you definitely got to get your voltage up in your car. You got to get it charging higher. I know a lot of the newer cars with the sense wire, you can just slap a diode in that bad boy. I have a video on here how to do that. And you can get your voltage up. I did it on my wife's car with the stock alternator. I had her stock alternator putting out 16 volt. We have since took her Cmax out and put Yinlong in. And I just have one diode in it now just to keep her voltage up around 14.8. I've had no problems with it. You know, a lot of people say you can't do it with a stock alternator. I did. And it did take it a while to get that Cmax charged up. But it kept the Cmax charged up fine. It just took a little while to charge it. And I only had a 45 amp hour in her car. And believe it or not, that thing held up great. I was running one of these amps in it. I had a Vital Power in there. And her voltage did really good unless she'd play like 6 full songs, like really loud. Then the voltage would go down. She'd turn it down and let it charge up. But, God, that's really all I got to cover. If you don't want to get your voltage up, like do an external regulator or the diode trick, or they make little boxes now that with a pointometer in it that works just like adding diodes the higher you turn the knob. You can run those, but if you don't want to do all that, you know, look into like Lishan Banks or the Yinlong Bank. And Down for Sound is going to come out with some really cool batteries. I don't want to give a whole lot away. It's something they have in the works. It's a battery that'll work with stock charging. And they look badass, guys. I mean, I've seen some sneak peeks of them. That's going to change the game also. But it's really all I have to cover on here. Now, somebody did ask, what are my plans for the Jeep? What do I plan on doing with it? I don't know. I really don't know. For now, I'm really happy with this thing. I want to keep it how it is. You know, I mean, I do have some things to do to the body-wise of it that needs to be done. And things to fix on the Jeep. But other than that, I mean, I'm good with the system in here. It's time to really start focusing more on my wife's Blazer build and try to get it done by World Finals. That's my plan as of now. I know I hadn't touched it in a while because I had the Sundown show coming up and I had a lot of stuff to do with the ship box, so it's been neglected. So now there ain't a whole lot left to do to the ship box. I'm gonna go to Florida next week, and when I get back from that trip, it's gonna be time to just start focusing on the Blazer and getting it done. So I'll be doing more videos on it. But guys, if you've made it this far in this video, give me a like, subscribe, whatever, man. I appreciate it. I need all the help I can get to get this channel growing. You know, share some of my videos if you've learned anything from them. I mean, I know a lot of people watch this stuff, man. They're OGs in car audio like me, or they've been around a while and know all this stuff. But a lot of people don't, and I'm just trying to help. But yeah, give me a like, follow. Well, try to watch my videos all the way through. That'll help more than anything. I still need like 3,000 hours on here before my channel will get where it needs to be. But anyway, thank you guys, and I got more videos upcoming. Everybody, have a great day. Peace out, and as always, base on.